Hi there, welcome to Friday's Devotional. Today I want to read to us from Titus chapter 3, verses 3 through 5. At one time we too were foolish, disobedient, deceived and enslaved by all kinds of passions and pleasures. We lived in malice and envy, being hated and hating one another. But when the kindness and love of God, our Savior, appeared, He saved us, not because of righteous things we had done, but because of His mercy. And it goes on to talk about how Jesus coming washed us in His rebirth and saved us. But what I really want to focus on today is the mercy of God that He showed us. Even despite all the sins and all who we were before we knew Him, He saved us. And I was looking in my Bible this week, on one of my old Bibles actually, looking on it, and I found a definition that I had in here years ago written down on mercy, and it says this: mercy is not receiving the punishment we deserve. Now, if we're honest with ourselves, we all have a long list of things that we have done, that we have sins we've committed against other people, against God, things that we know were wrong, even things that we know that we have sinned that we aren't even aware of, but we know that we're sinners. And at the end of the day, we know that we can only stand before God because of what Jesus has done. But we sometimes forget the fact that Jesus coming was an act of mercy for us. It was an act of mercy on God's part to send Jesus. And actually, I've been reminded of this because I've been listening to a song called Mercy from Elevation Worship. And the bridge says this. I'm going to read it off screen here. So it says, "Was the cross meant for me that my Savior carried? Oh, I've been made free by the mercy of God. Was the grave meant for me where my sin lay buried? Now I stand redeemed by the mercy of God." And we sometimes can get so focused on the fact that I'm a Christian. I do all these good things. This is my list of things that I go to church, I read my Bible, I do all these things. And we can get so focused on the fact that we do a lot of good things. But we forget the fact that even doing good things can sometimes be sinful because of our attitude of our heart. And ultimately, at the end of the day, we sometimes forget the fact that God has shown us mercy even to know Him. Even to be known by Him is an act of mercy, really. And ultimately, it's the act of Jesus walking to the cross, bearing our sin and shame, carrying our cross, experiencing the grave that we deserved, that is ultimately the biggest act of mercy of God. And that we get to live in that each and every day. And so my question for us today is, are you living in that mercy? Are you remembering that God is merciful, not because of anything you've done, but because of who He is? And along those same lines, are you extending mercy to other people? Are you merciful when they wrong you? Are you extending mercy when you know that they have committed a sin against you and maybe they're not even aware of it? Are you extending mercy as God has extended mercy? Which is ultimately our call as followers of Christ, that we are to be merciful and good and kind just as He is to us. So that's our thought for today. May you go with that. And if you want to take a listen to that song by Elevation Worship, it's just titled Mercy. It's a great song. I would encourage you to listen to it. It's just such a beautiful, beautiful song. Take care. Have a great weekend, and God bless.